system. Enjoy the video if you dare.
Hi everybody, welcome to Diving Into Movies episode 7. And first, before we get into today's video, we want to say that the first part of this video is going to be non-spoiler part. Yeah, it's the non-spoiler part of the video where we just talk about like the general stuff about the movie, like rating, cast, the genre, etc. And then the second part of the video will be a spoiler part of the video where we get more into detail about the movie. Like, we'll talk about like our favorite scenes and what goes on in the film, stuff like that. We will let you know we will let you know before the spoiler part of the video. So yeah, basically the second part is like our review of the film, as well as like what we think and stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be what's up for this video. So without further ado, let's get into Monsters Inc., aka Monsters Incorporated. So Monsters Inc. is a 2001 buddy comedy, animated buddy comedy released in 2001 and rated G. And it's about two monsters who are best friends after a little girl escapes into the monster world from the human world. They have to make sure she gets back home safely while they have to make sure they return her to her bedroom safe and sound. So there is a bit of a longer summarization on IMDb, because IMDb is what we're using for this video right here. But yep, two monster friends, Mike and Sully, their friendship is tested as they try to get a little girl back into her bedroom. And it was directed by Pete Docter, David Silverman, and apologies if we get this pronunciation wrong, but Lee Unkrich. Is it Unkrich or Unkrich? I think it's Unkrich. And some of the cast include John Goodman as Sullivan, aka Sully, Billy Crystal as Mike Wazowski, Mary Gibbs as Boo, Steve Buscemi or Buscemi? But it's Steve Buscemi as Randall, James Coburn as Waternoose, Jennifer Tilly as Celia, and we'll say one more here for this video, but Bob Peterson as the voice of Roz. That's all we're going to list for this video, but of course there's a lot of wonderful talents that go into making a film. So definitely go check out the Monsters Inc. page on IMDb and you'll find the cast listing and all that good stuff. The music in this the music in Monsters Inc. is pretty good, honestly. The ones that, even though we don't know the title of the songs, but the songs or tracks, but the first two that come to mind are the song, well, the track that plays during the opening credits. That's a good one. A nice, funky type, playful tune to bring you into the world of Monsters Inc. And then during the scene where they're scaring the kids and working, that instrumental is great too. Oh yeah, the theme song for Boo, that's really sweet. Especially during the ending, it's so wow. During the ending, that's a real tear jerker for us, because it's just wow, so beautiful. We will not spoil the ending just yet, but that's for the next part of the video. But yeah, the music definitely fits well for this awesome film. And at the time of recording this, we are excited for Halloween, because we're gonna watch this for Halloween too. Well, it's next week on Friday. It's gonna be Halloween, so get to finally get our Halloween candy out and watch some Monsters Inc. and have a great time. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, oh my goodness, we've had so much trouble trying not to get into our Halloween candy. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. But yeah, Monsters Inc. is very good. Let's go over some trivia and some film on IMDb. On IMDb, they're called goofs. So let's find out some of the cool trivia and slip-ups, and then we'll get into the spoiler part of this video. Alright, so trivia. Mary Gibbs was so young that it proved difficult to get her to stand in the recording booth or recording studio and act her lines. Instead, they simply followed her around with a microphone and cut booth lines together from the things she said while she played. So that's a trivia. That's one trivia about Boo. Let's see. I'm scrolling through to see if there's anything else. Oh yeah. Bear with us, but this is a long one. But this is interesting. It normally took 11 to 12 hours to render a single frame of Sully because of his 2.3 million animated hair strands. Total number of hairs, 2,320,413. Part of that animation process was done via the use of moving attractor repeller particles that functioned like virtual magnets. Fans that would attract or repel the hairs proportionally over distance. By moving the particles along virtual paths, they would provide a natural effect on the hair. An example of this could be seen in subsequent films such as the LOTR series. I'm guessing that's Lord of the Rings, in which animated CG armies of thousands could be moved across a battlefield, charging at ORCs on the hand and fleeing from trolls on the other. So that's interesting. Alright, before we get into the spoiler part of this video, we will go over some Monsters Inc. goofs. So, some slip-ups. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I think we're gonna read the first one and we'll go from there. So the first section is continuity. So here's the first one. When Sully runs into the locker room to shove the toys from Boo's room into a locker, he is seen putting them into locker 193, then slamming the door with both hands. When the camera angle changes, he removes his hands from locker 190, even though his hands never moved from the locker between shots. Wow. As I was reading this, it was literally showing the bathroom scene on the TV, and I was just trying to look closer and be like, as I was reading, I was like looking up a little, trying to catch it, but alright, so the next one is when Randall slithers through his door on the scare floor after it's closed. After it's closed, you see the handle is on the left side. When he emerges, the handle is on the right side. Wow. And let's see. Let's do a couple of factual errors. In the door warehouse during the chase, when Boo laughs, looks like hundreds of doors become operational. You would think there is a very good chance at least one person would accidentally stumble into Monster World. Oh yeah, during that really, really interesting scene, you would think that someone would stumble into Monster World from any of those doors. Next one is during the first 2319 incident, one helicopter is flying directly towards the factory building. A street vehicle then obscures it, but based on the chopper's speed and trajectory, it would have crashed into the factory with no time to deviate. Incorrectly regarded as goofs. What? Okay, this is a long one, but bear with us. We're gonna read this one because we're interested now. We're intrigued. So, when all the monsters are entering the scare floor near the beginning, the monster that is supposed to have no eyes has no eyes. Then it has 3 eyes when walking, then back to none after it gets to the desk where it is assigned. These are 2 separate monsters, as can be seen in slow motion. When the camera pans up to the top of the scoreboard, the monster with no eyes is seen near the bottom, whereas the one who looks similar and has 3 eyes is near the top right under Randall. Oh, top right under Randall. Wow. Honestly, never noticed that. And we'll do one more of those. In Sully and Mike's apartment, where Boo sleeps in Sully's bed during the night, she shows him her drawing of what appears to be Randall. Yet she doesn't encounter Randall or witness his existence until later in the movie, when she is being abducted by him and Mr. Waternoose, while Sully and Mike are exiled into the Himalayas. Oh yeah, that's right. That apartment scene.
Warning, this is now the spoiler part of the video. If you haven't seen Monsters, Inc. already, we recommend you watch it before continuing the video.
Alright everyone, with the spoiler-free part of the video out of the way, it is time to get into more of the spoilers of Monsters, Inc. Also, before we get into it, let us know if you want us to do more trivia and more trivia stuff for our series where we talk about movies. Just yeah, if you want to see any like film trivia, just let us know, and yeah, we'll definitely do some for y'all. But let's get into the spoiler part of this video. We will talk about some of our favorite scenes in the film. Alright, so one of our favorite films within Monsters, Inc. is when they are being chased by Randall and they get into the area with all the doors, and yeah, they're trying to get to Boo's door so that they can return. Well, Mike and Sully are up in the door area trying to avoid Randall and trying to get Boo's door. And we really like the scene because it's just so crazy. Like, it's just such a crazy chase scene, and the area where the doors are, it's just, wow, it is big. And there's this part where Mike and Sully and Boo go one way and Randall goes another, but yet Randall still manages to find where they are. So they have to make Boo laugh in order for the doors to become active. And Randall tries chasing them through through the door to a sunny area, but he gets smacked in the face by the door. That was really funny. And this part where they're getting into another door, they're trying to get into another door, and Mike is just hanging on by I think it was 1 foot. Yeah, Sully is holding on to Mike, and he's upside down, and whoa, part of that view, you can see his point of view, and it's just like, holy moly, that's a long way down. And basically this whole sequence is Mike and Sully with Boo going through different doors, and Randall is chasing them around. That's really funny. And then Boo, she beats up Randall. She's not scared of him anymore, so she starts beating up Randall with like a bat, and it's just so it's so funny. And all that part where a door is falling, and Mike pulls Sully inside, and they crash on the ground, but they manage to get out. Wow. But all in all, that scene where Mike, Sully, and Boo are being chased by Randall in the door area is just, it's our favorite scene because we just love the fast-paced action, and we just love everything about that scene. Like, we feel like it's just perfection. Another scene in the movie that we really like, that we kind of consider our favorite scene, is that part where Mike and Sully are walking to work from their apartment in the beginning. It's just really fun seeing the world building, like watching them walk to work, and there's different monsters around in the area. Like, there's one area where kids are playing jump rope, and then there's one part where this fire monster is trying to read a newspaper, and he sneezes and accidentally burns his newspaper, and he's like, "Aw, nuts." That's funny. And another part of that scene is when they're talking about the scare record, and Sully's like just trying to get enough scream to go around. And then there's also this part where Sully is saying good morning, and there's a monster that sounds like a chicken, and that's fun. Well, we like a lot of scenes in this film, but there's 2 more we're going to talk about. Another part of Monsters, Inc. that we really like is that part where they are showing the monsters working. Like, first, the assistants of the scarers are getting the stations ready for the scarers to come out and do their job. And, like, Mike is Sully's partner, and then Randall's partner is Fungus. But they're getting the stations ready, and then that scene where the scarers are coming out and they have this slow motion sequence, it's like, wow, that's a lot of scarers, but at the same time, it's like, wow, how did they do that? That's cool. And there's this part where they're getting ready, and Randall is testing his camouflage, and there's this one backdrop that looks like Andy's room from Toy Story, and wow, it's just really cool watching his camouflage and everything. And then after they start scaring kids, they go in and out of kids' rooms and scare them and all that. There's this one part where Randall almost gets the top spot. There's an announcement that Randall is the new scare leader, but then Sully comes out. Like, Mike is just moving all these canisters aside, or whatever they're called. He's moving them aside, and Sully comes out, and he's like, slumber party. And then Randall slips back to the second best scarer, and Sully is the best again. The one part that was a bit sad for us when watching, it's part of that same scene, but towards the end of it, but there's this part where this monster named George, he comes out of a kid's room with a sock attached to his fur on the backside. And so they have to call in the CDA, call in a 2319 white sock. So the CDA comes in, and they have to take care of the white sock on George's fur. And we felt so sad for George, because he gets shaved down by the CDA, and yeah, it's just so sad. But at the same time, it's understandable, because of, like, they think the kids are toxic, so it's kind of understandable that happened. But at the same time, we can't help but feel sorry for George. And the last part that think. Can't think of it right now. Oh yeah. The last scene that we consider one of our favorite scenes is the ending where Sully brings Boo back into her room. Yeah. Sully takes Boo back into her room, and she's showing him all her toys, like giving him a Jessie doll, and I believe there's also like a Pixar ball. Can't remember the exact name of the Pixar ball, but yeah, she gives him Jessie doll, Pixar ball. She gives him did she give him a Finding Nemo toy? I'm not exactly sure. Oh yeah. She pulls him into her room, and she's showing him her toys. And then Sully drops them and starts playing with her and tucks her in the bed. And yeah. I was almost talking about Boo, but I'm trying to talk about Sully. He basically drops all her toys and picks her up and puts her in her bed and tucks her in. And the sad part is when he's like, Kitty has to go. And basically Boo and Sully hug, and it's just really sad, to be honest. And yeah, it's just really sad watching them hug and have to say goodbye. And then the music that is in the background of the scene makes it sadder. It's like, aww. And then after Sully closes the door, Boo gets out of her bed, and she opens the door, and it's just a closet, which is really sad. Yep, she opens the door and it's just a closet. But we like that scene because it just shows like the emotional connection between Boo and Sully. And well, even Mike was there before Sully takes Boo into her room. Mike gives Boo a hug and he says, "Go grow up," and it's just, aw. And then Mike hands Sully a piece of the door, a piece of Boo's door, and it's like, what are they gonna do with that later? But we just like that scene because it shows the emotional connection between Boo and Sully, like we just said. Don't mean to repeat ourselves there, but that's the main thing, is that the connection and stuff like that. Yeah, we really like how the story is basically Sully accidentally lets Boo into the monster world, and he basically has to return Boo back to her room. But then Sully and Mike uncover a scheme that Randall is involved in, and then it turns out that Water Noose is a villain as well. That's just really interesting. Like, oh, two best friends have to solve a problem, but along the way they uncover a really dark scheme that's going on without them knowing. And they also find out that the CEO of Monsters Inc., Mr. Water Noose, is not a good guy either. That part where they get banished to the Himalayas. Don't know why we almost said vanished, but they almost get banished to they get banished to the Himalayas. And just gonna call him the snow monster, the snowman monster, or yeah, just gonna say the snowman basically. But yeah, after getting banished into the Himalayas by Mr. Water Noose, they run into a snowman who brings them to a cave, and he offers them snow cones. When he asks Mike if he wants a snow cone, Mike is like, yeah. And the snowman is like, don't worry, it's lemon. And then after a while, like when Mike and Sully are talking, like, well, mostly it's after Mike is throwing like the snow cones at Sully, the snowman notices that he's out of snow cones, and he's like, looks like we're out of snow cones. Let me go out and make some more. It's like, like, it kind of makes us think a little bit, like, how is he going to make more snow cones? And we're also thinking to ourselves, don't know if those snow cones are actually lemon. Like, we're thinking, are you sure those are lemon? Because, yeah, how else would you be able to make snow cones out in a blizzard or whatever? And that part where Sully is riding down to the village, and the music makes it seem like he's triumphant and he's like confident stuff or whatever. Like, the music makes it seem like he's ready and determined, and then the music all of a sudden stops when he hits a rock and he just falls off right forward. And that part where George's partner is about to call out another 2319, and before he can finish saying 2319, George basically throws him into the door, and it's like, oh, good for you, George. After his partner basically rats him out twice, like once during the scaring scene, and another time is when they're in the men's locker room and all the Sully basically before that scene, there's a scene where Sully is trying to basically get rid of all the stuff that got on him when he was trying to put Boo back in her room. Yeah, he runs to the men's room and he tries to flush the stuff in the toilet, but it does not go down. So he freaks out and he finds an open locker, and he basically stuffs everything, and like, say for instance, this is what he's trying to stuff, like he tries to stuff everything in the locker, and yeah, he finally gets it all in, but then yeah, later on here it was George's locker, so he opens that up and his partner is like, 2319, we got 2319, and all the CDA are basically in the bathroom stalls, and they run out all at once at George, and it's like, oh, poor guy. It's like, after being ratted out by his partner twice, it's like, oh, poor guy. And then at the end, when his partner almost calls him out again, George basically throws him into the door and closes it and walks off. So, what do we think of Monsters, Inc.? Well, on the popcorn scale of 1 to 5, we definitely give this a 5. Yeah, 5 out of 5 popcorn. We'll definitely watch this again. We have a Halloween tradition where we watch this every year for Halloween, so we'll be watching this next week on Friday for Halloween. Yippee! Yay! Excited for that. We definitely rate it a 5 out of 5 on the popcorn scale because we'll definitely watch this again. Definitely a watch that we love. We really love this film because it's fun, it's cute, and it also has some parts where it tugs at your heartstrings. It's a Pixar classic, everybody. Maybe what we'll do is on days that we're having trouble concentrating and stuff, we will do videos. Maybe we will try doing videos in slideshow format. That way we can still get videos out, but just not having to worry about the video turning out, without the video turning out not so good. But let us know if that's something you'd be okay with. But yeah, overall, Monsters, Inc. is a great classic that we'll never get tired of watching. We're going to end this video here because we keep losing concentration, and we're thinking of other things now, like we're trying to stay focused on the video for Monsters Inc., but our mind is literally just running wild. With cheers and love, everybody. Hope you all have a great day and stay positive and just take care of yourselves. Especially if you're in an area where it's getting really cold now. Like, we really miss summer. Summer is our favorite season, but now it's getting really cold and we don't like the cold. But yeah, take care of yourselves and we'll see you in another video. Hopefully we'll be more focused and it won't be all over the place. Yeah. Alright. Goodbye everyone and thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe if you'd like. Be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.